apart and shouting at each other from car to car. So don't worry about them. They're going to be okay. Anyway, we're missing our freedoms. So write down what you're going through, how you're dealing with it, what it feels like from your perspective. We have plenty of records of what Donald Trump thinks about it. We have plenty of records about what Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, thinks about it. What do you think about it, average person? Or maybe you're not such an average person. Maybe you are, I think you're an extraordinary person. So, extraordinary person who's also a writer or a storyteller, get out there and document at a safe social distance. Write down what you feel like in a journal or in a book or somewhere. If you're an artist or a photographer, go out and take some pictures. Take a picture here in Homewood at the Redbird Cafe restaurant. They're helping people who can't afford meals. A lot of places around town are, and that's the only one I can think of that I've read about it off the top of my head. But I know there's others who are out there, and it's awesome, and people are helping people and doing things. And I don't know about you, but it feels like people are a lot nicer than they used to be a month ago. When you pass them on the street, almost everyone says hello. They did not always used to do that. So write these things down. Write how you're feeling. Write what you're doing at home with your kids if you have kids, or what you're doing at home with your teachers if you are a kid and you're studying, and what it's like. Write it down, because the future is depending on you. I know some of you are Hamilton fans, right? So you probably know where I'm going with this already, but there's a song in Hamilton. Who tells your story? You storyteller / writer person, you tell your story, right? Alexander Hamilton did not get a chance to tell his own story, as you may know, which I only know from watching the musical Hamilton with my niece. It's not because I actually am a history buff, totally not. But we know he didn't get to tell his own story, but somebody close to him did tell his story and kept a journal and wrote it all down, and that is how Lin-Manuel Miranda was then able to go back and find out what happened with Alexander Hamilton and then also tell his story. So you are the storyteller of your story, and I know that someday someone's going to want to know. You're going to have grandkids, you're going to have great-grandkids, some researcher that's writing a paper for college or high school or middle school who wants to know about that crazy COVID pandemic of 2020 is going to want to find things that normal people wrote saying, here's what it felt like and here's how we dealt with it. So go be a historian, please. Write this all down, document it, paint a picture, take a photo, write a journal, write a poem, start a blog, whatever it is you want to do it, because someday someone's going to care. I care today. So send me a copy of whatever you write or create, because I want to see it. Which reminds me, I'm not getting your writing. I know that people are out there watching because I am getting some questions. People are emailing me some questions. I would like to see what you're writing, though, so I can give you some critiques and offer some help, and just because I really want to read your stuff, because I like to read and I think it's neat to read new writers' stuff. So send me your stuff, please. And go be a historian. And I am interested in seeing how you feel about that too. Also, we have that Facebook page, we have email, all that stuff. I didn't bring my little sheets in here, so you'll have to trust me that we have an HFPD, Homewood Flossmoor Park District Writers Facebook page that you should join. We can talk and comment and hear about history there. And I also have an email address, DAWN.LEADER, Dawn Leader, with a dot in the middle, 5, the number 5, at gmail.com. Dawn.leader5@gmail.com. That's my real name. So send me your stuff, send me your questions. I can't wait to answer them. Comment below, all that stuff. I'm going to answer one of those questions now. So we had some questions about character, and I think I might have overwhelmed you a little bit in my last video with me demanding that you know your character so well. It's helpful, yeah, but there's no quiz. No, there's no quiz, guys. So when you write your book or your thing or whatever it is you do, nobody's going to call you up and ask what, in chapter 6, there was a nurse named Jane, and what was her favorite ice cream flavor. Don't be so overwhelmed. Don't let it overwhelm you. There's no quiz. There's going to be no pop quiz. I'm not going to ask unless you want me to. because you need help with your characters. But for the most part, don't sweat it too much. The more you know your character, the better your character is going to be. But there's no quiz. So if you're at home searching for every answer I might ask you of any question, I'm not going to ask. I've already asked. I told you some things. I'll make suggestions if you want them, but I'm not going to show up on your doorstep making a quiz, and if you can't answer it, you're kicked out of being a writer. Nah, that's not how it works. So, some things you can do. If you're writing for the first time and you go, okay, I have to make up some characters. Who are these characters going to be? It's really hard, right? Name 5 characters right off the top of your head. You can't do it. But here's what you can do. Base it on someone you already know. There's a joke. I've seen a button, and I'm pretty sure I have one somewhere in some box. But there's a little button and a joke among writers that says, be careful or you'll wind up in my story. And it's something I always tell my family, and I'm pretty sure they think I'm kidding, but I'm totally not kidding. Be careful or you're going to wind up in my story. If you go off on some crazy rant, if you do something that's out of the ordinary, if you get in an argument with me and I just want revenge, you're going in my stories. So when you read anything that I wrote, you're going to be going, I wonder which one of them this is. I can guarantee you it's somebody I know most of the time, or a little bit of me, or a little bit of my fantasy version of who I would like to be. All of those things end up somewhere in a story. So use that. Use people you know. I'm writing a book right now, and in the book, there's a doctor. And the main characters need help. And this doctor is a person who doctors by day, but at night, she runs this nonprofit that helps these people. So I'm not giving too much away. You'll have to buy the book to find out. But this doctor helps people. So I needed a doctor. I worked in a hospital for a little while. I go to the doctor, but I don't really have any doctor friends or doctor family that I can talk to and ask them all kinds of questions about what it's like to be a doctor. And in this case, it never mentions what it's like to be a doctor. It mentions what it's like to run this nonprofit. That I know. So I needed a character for this doctor. So what I did was base it on my dentist. If you ever read the book and you go to the Center for Dental Excellence in Flossmoor, I don't go there anymore because they don't take my insurance, but you might recognize my dentist in this story because all it needed was a whole bunch of personality